to April a little bit about it. I mean, she explained me a little bit about like what you guys do and like what is this all about. But and she told, I think it's recent, pretty recent. Like she said, you guys started like October last year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and I would like to hear a little bit about from you, like since you're one of the founders, like what is it in general, and how do you define the EvoRoom for a person who is completely brand new?
um, how I define it is that it is a space where an individual can have experiences that are designed to accelerate their personal growth. And it's not necessarily a room, even though it's called the EvoRoom. Because we define it as a room without walls, because most of the experiences that we create are on estates and properties that are fairly large, and we gather groups of 15 to 25 people and take them through these experiences, and they're designed to accelerate growth. How do we accelerate growth? Using fun and entertainment. I didn't really understand, that fun can be a really, great tool for accelerating growth. But now, through my studies of consciousness and how a human being unfolds their consciousness, I realized that what fun does, it brings an individual into joy and excitement. And when we're in that state of being, we're vibrating at a higher frequency because we're all made of energy, atoms and protons and neutrons spinning around in space, right?
Right.
So when we're vibrating at a higher frequency, we are increasing the more pure and positive thoughts that get downloaded from wherever thoughts come from. No one knows really, right?
Right.
And so, when we're having more pure and positive thoughts, it leads to more pure and positive actions. More pure and positive actions leads to magic, miracles, and all the things that an individual really desires out of life. So these experiences are designed with fun incorporated into it because, a lot of personal development nowadays can be perceived as really challenging and stressful, because it can be if you're going inward and trying to dig out all the shit that, limits us and blocks us. But we've come to realize that that process doesn't have to be challenging and stressful. It can actually be fun and entertaining and engaging and exciting. And so we've worked to develop a system and a process that delivers just that. So not only do we incorporate a lot of fun into the experiences, but we focus on 5 core areas of life. And those core areas are emotional well-being, physical well-being, nutrition, relationships, and money. We focus on those 5 core areas because those core areas are normally the most important areas in a human being's life. And when an individual has, lack in any of those categories, then normally they're suffering. And when they're suffering, a human being isn't at their fullest capacity to create and to do the things they really want to do. So we train in those core areas because when an individual does have balance in those areas, then normally there's overall well-being. And when someone is in overall well-being, then they have more capacity to tap into their gifts and to fullest potential, and they're able to create. And a lot of what we focus on also is connection, because I think that's one of the biggest demands of most human beings today, is to feel like they're connected to themselves, to who they are, also connected to others around them, and connected to all of life. Because when we feel connected to other individuals and to ourselves, that is that is essentially the source of power. And we don't have what we used to have in indigenous cultures, which is a really strong community base. And in community, each individual's power and their gifts is enhanced. And nowadays we have more more separatism. People are kind of all on, in my experience at least, a lot of people are out for themselves, a lot of greed in the world. It's all about money. So connection isn't something that people normally practice. And I mean, if you look at our culture, we're more geared towards academia. you know, and putting people through school and learning about science and math and all those things that help us to become great employees, right, and great workers. But it doesn't do well for creating connection with individuals, which is essentially at the end of the day what we all truly desire is love, right? What we work for, why we create money, why we buy the clothes that we buy, why we buy the houses we buy, is because essentially we're attracting and wanting to not only receive more love but to give more love, because in love that's like where fulfillment truly is, right? And so so we become a place like, you know, you go to the gym and you practice your physical appearance, you know, to or you go to the gym to enhance your physical appearance, but there isn't really a place for people to go to practice their internal world and how to enhance their internal spirit. So the EvoRoom becomes that place to deal with how to deal with your anger, your stress, and your emotions, how to figure out what your purpose is, how to unlock what your you know, innate gifts are as an individual, how to relieve fears, worries, and doubts, and all those things that limit us. So those things are practiced on a regular basis that allows people to feel more complete, feel more fulfilled, and create more love in their life.
Wow, you defined very clear to me. It
Yeah,
was
does that
very clear,
make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense, and I like the way that you put everything in the words like seamlessly, like it was just pouring from your mouth. So clear. That's very good.
It's what I love to do. For ever since I was a child, I've always wanted to make an impact in other people's lives. And now I feel like I'm standing in my power where I understand what my gift is, which is to unfold human beings' potential. And I believe that because I found that place within me, you know, I don't talk from my head anymore, like trying to think of like, what does this mean? I go into a space and I just allow the universe to bring whatever comes to me, like I need to say, and I'm present to whatever that information is, and then it just spits it out. And sometimes you know, when you say, wow, you put it clear, I don't even remember what words I actually said.
I
You know,
know.
it's like they're saying it.
Yeah, it was so obvious. I mean, it was just coming out without thinking, like just taking from coming out from the source, which was very,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
You would like to maybe listen it again since this is recorded,
Hmm.
because it was a great definition of what you
Thank you.
do and
Thank
what
you.
the EvoRoom is, for me at least. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that acknowledgement on that. Yeah, that's what the Evo room is. Any
Well,
questions outside of that, like you'd like to know?
well, that was a great explanation. I'm not gonna ask anything specifically about what it is.
Mm. Okay,
That answers my question.
awesome. So I would love to take some time to learn about you, and you know, more specifically, like what was your childhood like? Where were you born? What things did you experience as you, you know, moved on in your life journey? And then once we touched upon that, I would love to look into the future of what you'd like to accomplish in this lifetime and what drives you, what lights you up, what you're passionate about, all that good stuff.
Okay, so the beginning of the story, I was born in a kind of like mid-sized town in Turkey, in Kayseri. It's where maybe you might heard of Cappadocia. It's like one of the world's wonders. It's amazing place. It's very close to there, like maybe 40, 50 miles away from there. I was born in there. It's like a mid-sized city in Turkey, and I was I can say I was raised by a very open-minded father and a little bit conventional mother. And my my father was a great person. Like he was an author. He was a reader. Like he was reading always books and books. It's one of the things that I always, and he was like a little bit different from others. So as I see that as a role model, that's always have been guiding me through,
Mm.
and I always had a kind of admire with my father. He passed away in 2000, so like when I was 16 years old. So and well, my early ages, like I was that guy who is like so smart that people always point out, like, oh, he's so smart, he's gonna do that. Oh, he's so talented, and that kind of like put a lot of it also put a lot of pressure on you, but also you always get to feel like you start to lead people. You know that you kind of think that you are different than others, and that's something very tricky, by the way. That's when I realized later on. And then, like, always in that path, like, oh, the smart guy, like, oh, super smart, like that guy is gonna have a great, bright future, like that's all the things that was put on me. And then while I grow up and while I start my journey, this was like putting more and more and more. And I was doing great, like with all the classes. Like I was the best in the math, best in the science, like all the things. But then I was more feeling lonely with the things because I was feeling that the place that I was heading was not right to me. Because while I was getting more into the system, which is out there, I was feeling more stuck and more stuck and more stuck. And then I lost my father at the age of 16. That was like a big, like a trauma for me. And then I started questioning. That kind of started. At that point, I started questioning about life and what life really is. What is religion? Like, what is love? Like, what is everything? The questions were coming one and after another. And while people were more interested in other parts of the life, I was like detaching myself more and started my internal self journey. And then especially then I moved to Istanbul. It's a huge city. It's as big as New York, like a huge city. And then I started studying computer science there, which is like one of my passions in life because I love solving problems. And that's why I chose to be a computer scientist initially. But during my college years also, I was always seeking like an exit, because the system, I was always feeling like squeezed more, squeezed more, squeezed more, and the only place that I can escape was only by myself. I have no one that would understand me that I was going through because I was having a very different state of mind than the rest of my friends. And the reality that I was experiencing was totally different than what they were experiencing. And by then, do you know, you might have heard of Alan Wolf. He's he's a quantum physicist, and he's American. He came to Turkey for a seminar, and I definitely wanted to go there. And like I found the company, and then like just tried to get in, and it was so expensive. Like it was $800, I guess the seminar was, and I said like, you know what, like I can't afford it. But my English was like the same as right now, and I offered them like, you know what, like I can be just an interpreter for the audience. I just want to be there, but I'm a student. I can afford that. Anyways, like long story short.
How long ago was this, Ahmet?
This was in 2004, I guess. 2004, like 10 years ago. So, anyways, I get to go there, and I convinced them to be there, and I did a great job. They loved me, and I was there for what I was looking for. And there I met Israel Bergovitz. He was my mentor. He was a phenomenal person. Like he kind of unlocked like many things inside of me, and he had his he had his own like workshops that he was doing. Back then they were called, I'm sure these are called differently in different regions, but their version was called like the Phoenix and the Source. It was like a two parts seminar. The first one was 6 days, like an actual 6 days. You were going there and like facing with everything that in your life and holding you. Like it was a very, very different experience. And then there was this, the one that is called Source, which was giving you the opportunity after those all the cleaning all the blocks and then putting the new seeds inside in you from the source. And that kind of that experience changed my life a lot and the way that I see, the way that I perceive reality. I had a paradigm shift, and you know, it's something like you can never go back. But once you have that aha moment, like once you realize what is really going around, then you're like, okay, like you can never go back. It's like being in the movie Matrix. And that led me to like open all the possibilities. And then I said, like, you know what? I want to live in the United States. And me and then my girlfriend, we came here just as a tourist and see around, and especially the Southern California. I've been in Hawaii. I lived in Hawaii like 4 months in 2005. That was like an amazing experience for me too. I met with great people, and that was the first impression that I got with the U.S. was, oh, this is incredible. That's why I want to go back to U.S.
Which island?
In Oahu, Honolulu.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. And then I decided to come back. We came here to San Diego. We loved here, and we said, you know what? I want to spend the rest of my life here. Then I arranged my everything, and we come back, and we started a new life here.
Nice.
So that's my story.
So when did you land here in San Diego?
San Diego 3 years ago,
3
in
years ago?
2011. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And just inspired by creating a new life for yourself, new possibilities, and San Diego called to you as the place where you would create these new possibilities.
Well, among the ones that I've seen, yeah, San Diego was. I said like, yes, this is one of the places that I want to live. Like, I wanted to be like away from, because in Istanbul we were so stuck with the traffic, like the pollution, air pollution, and people are not smiling at each other. You know, when they see at the streets, and everybody is uptight, like, so that was the thing I was running away from. And I wanted somewhere in between. Like I wanted like some city, not like a just a town, but just like a city mid-size. But also people are laid back and the weather is great. So there were a lot of things. That's why we chose here. And later on, when I met with other people from other parts of the States, they're always saying like, "Oh, you're living in the best place."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay." Yeah. And so far, I traveled I can say most of the West Coast, and I mean, I loved Seattle, I loved San Francisco, but still, like, San Diego is my favorite place to live. I call it home now.
Nice. Well, welcome home, Ahmet. Welcome home. Awesome, man. So, what are you passionate about? What lights you up? What do you love to do that just makes you completely happy?
Well, learning is like knowledge is one of the things that I'm really, really passionate about. I'm so curious. I I know a lot about science. I know a lot about history. I love to learn always. Like the information is kind of my passion. And computers also, because like there's something that people, the way that I can say is when I was a kid, when they were saying like, oh, the history starts with when we found, writing, that's what they say usually. And I never understood when I was a kid. And I think we are in the same, we are in an era, in the beginning of an era that has exactly as a huge leap, just because of the computers. That's what I believe. Like the data, this data, like now we are able to store everything. And I mean, this conversation might lead to maybe 1,000 years later from now on, and those beings will be able to listen to this. and that's why I'm so passionate about like computers. Like that's the whole the idea that how they do this, and I'm very good at my job too. I'm a software developer also, and I love what I do. That's one of my passions. And self growth. I was looking at the, was it called the Maslow, the pyramid of
Yeah.
Maslow? Yeah.
Yep.
So now I can see like I am in crossing to the place where I am getting into the self-actualization, which is kind of also led me to you guys also, which got me into that. So that's what I can say too.
That's amazing, man.
And snowboarding, like that's another thing that I'm really passionate about. Yeah, that hopefully this year I'm gonna go like Vail with my wife for 2 months. We're planning to find a place over there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
I
that's
have
one
some
of the
friends. I have some friends there that own resorts and stuff like that. So if you're not if, but since you're looking for that place when it comes time, I'd love to connect you with them. And
that would be perfect. Like, cause I have been searching like crazy, trying to find a place there, and then like just because I want to spend a longer time rather than just a few weekends. Like I want to spend like a 2 months maybe because I can work remotely. So
oh, nice.
that's the beauty of my job. So I can work
Yeah,
remotely.
that's cool, man. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, I can work at home. I can work when I'm in another country. So
Pretty awesome.
yeah,
Not too many people have that freedom, so
yeah, and
I'm
it's
sure
very
you're
productive
grateful.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, yeah, you've given me a nice little snapshot of your life and your journey, and I get a real good sense of your energy and your vibration from what you shared and what you'd like to bring in the world. And I'm what one of the things I'm curious about is how you encountered the Evo Room. And
Oh, it was very interesting actually. Like I think it's totally unconnected. I have a friend in Facebook. Like we like once in a while we come across when we go out. She's like a friend of friend kind of. I mean, I know her in person, but not very close. I saw one of her posts about that water slide, the
hmm
sliding, and
yeah,
then I saw the EvoRoom, the hashtag over there, and then I clicked on it. What is this? Like, who is doing this? Who is the organizer of that? And then I get to see your Facebook page that I go through, and then see your website. I got into that, and then I flew out to forum, and yesterday April called me. So that
beautiful.
water slide, yeah, that
Yeah,
was the thing that got
awesome.
me because I wanted
Well,
to do it.
yeah, that's the thing. Like I see the Evo Room as being the connector to the masses because I believe that the problems that exist in the world, the wars, the disharmony, the economic problems, are a result of human beings' collective mentality. So that's the environment's a reflection of that, right? The destruction, because a lot of congestion exists within the human consciousness, right? A lot of pain, a lot of challenge, a lot of stress. So this is the world, experiencing that now. So in order for the world to make a shift and for this planet to continue to be a desirable place to live, I believe that we don't have very much time, but we need to make a shift internally in order for our external environment to reflect that internal well-being. So in order to do that, personal development is key. But, you know, out in the middle of America, they're not talking as much about personal development as it is here in Encinitas in the Western Hemisphere and West Coast. So how do you get people to actually engage in personal development? So one thing that I have a background is entertainment. I used to be a nightclub promoter, event producer, and I threw big parties with celebrities that would come to these parties to host them. And in that experience, I was able to learn how to connect with popular culture, the mass demographic. Can you hold on 1 second for
Yeah,
me,
sure.
Ahmet? Hey, Navid, what's up, buddy? Doing great. Can I call you back in like a couple of minutes here? I'm just finishing up a conference call, video chat. Cool. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh, so I learned how to connect with the masses, if you will, popular culture, through that experience as a nightclub promoter. So now pain, my own internal struggles, um, pushed me into personal development because I needed to figure out how to deal with all this anger, this temper, and all these emotional things that made my life, hell. I was making my own hell, actually. So what I found is that now the combination of entertainment and personal development is something we do well. And we're using entertainment as a way and fun to seduce people into personal growth. So just as you saw the slip and slide is like, oh, that's fun. Well, that's because a lot of people, want to have fun. I think most of the world wants to enjoy life, wants to smile, wants to have fun. And it takes us away from the stresses of life when we're having fun. And so that's what we lead with, like fun as a way to like just get people to say, yeah, I want to be a part of that. And then we deliver within that seeds for personal growth that helps the individual tap into their fullest potential. So it worked on you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm a basic example of that. I got the bait.
Yay! It worked. Yeah, so I'm really excited to meet you in person, Ahmet, and I would love to invite you into the Evo room. The next steps from here is we have an Evo room coming up August 8th, 9th, and 10th. This is a weekend-long experience that we call Elevation Weekend. And the reason why we call it Elevation Weekend is we are inviting influencers and leaders from around the world, actually, to come in, and there's going to be 15 to 20 of them that we invite into this space to have this experience. And the whole goal is to invite people who are already making an impact in the world in some way, but we want to enhance their impact in the world. And so we're inviting some of the most amazing experts and facilitators in the realm of personal growth and consciousness, and we're going to introduce experiences in those 5 core areas of life that I shared with you. So that's one of the experiences coming up in August 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then the next one we have is August 30th, which is a day-long experience, which is similar to the one we just had on Saturday. Same thing, but more for individuals that may not be too well versed in the realm of personal growth and personal development, but still it serves those that have been in that space for quite a while. So, but different demographics of people, and of course with the different demographics, the people you surround yourself with are going to create a lot of what you experience through the week or the weekend or whatever the
Right.
experience.
Well, I wish I could be especially part of that one, but we on August 18th we have our wedding. Me
Oh,
and my wife. Yeah, it's gonna be in Turkey. So we are leaving the country on August 1st, and we are gone 3 weeks until 21st.
got it.
Yeah. So I mean, I would love to attend that, but unfortunately for that specific one,
Yeah,
I would not be able to. I would be busy trying to maybe calm down my wife with dealing
yeah,
with the stress of the
right,
wedding.
right.
Yeah.
No, I completely understand, and
Yeah.
I'd like to say congratulations, man.
Thank you.
That's huge, and um, a great connection. I always love love. I love seeing love, and of course,
Yeah.
a wedding is a great representation of love. Um, but with that said, I think we host these EvoRoom experiences once a month, and we also have just parties randomly here and there that we like to invite our past participants to enjoy because they love so much to see each other again after they have one of the experiences. They
Mhm.
always hang out with each other outside of it, but when we all gather as a group, it's so amazing. The vibration is just so pure and so real and so
Fun.
inviting. Yeah, and fun, and
Yeah,
it creates an awesome experience for everyone. So I'd love to invite you to one of those. I'll keep you in mind, and
definitely. Yeah.
where we do those. I would love to invite you and your wife to have that experience, and just come out and meet some of the people of the Evo Room, and then as the timing, makes sense for you, then of course to have the actual experience itself, um, the experience that is designed to accelerate your growth.
Well, I definitely would love to.
Awesome, beautiful. Cool, man. Is there any questions or anything else I could answer for you before we sign off for the day?
Well, I mean, like within that time period, like before August, like, do you have any kind of any gathering or like
We
just about like yeah?
Yeah, we do. For Elevation Weekend that's coming up August 8th, 9th, and 10th, we're hosting um, dinners, and these dinners will be about 8 to 12 people. Really awesome, like just off the wall dinners. The way that we create them is really unique and special, and so we are inviting these individuals to come to dinner, so that we can get to know them better, but also to share more information about the next experience that we have coming up, and also to see and observe their interaction with the group that we invite to dinner, because it's kind of like matchmaking, right, in personal growth for us, because we of course want to put people with like-minded individuals and people
Right.
that they can connect with and bond with, because community is so important in this process of personal growth. And so the dinner would be the next thing that's coming up that we could potentially invite you to if you're interested in coming to the Evo Room experience,
Hmm.
the Elevation Weekend, August 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would definitely be interested in meeting you and others in person.
Beautiful. Okay, so I'll put you on our list for that dinner as
Mhm.
a potential guest and invitee, and I will potentially be calling you or April, to discuss how that dinner would go, and a little bit more about Elevation Weekend as well. I'd like to learn a little bit more particulars about your background, and what you aim to do as an individual in the world, and that will help us to determine, if there's a right match, as far as this experience that we're creating
Right.
uh, currently.
Yeah, I would be looking forward to it.
Likewise, likewise.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions I could answer for you on that?
No, all good.
Awesome. Well, it's really a pleasure getting to know you, and
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person and having some conversations. And you seem like a really fun guy to be around as well. And I think we'll laugh and have a lot of fun together. So
Yeah, I had a great time, and it was really, really, I mean, it like nice to talk to you, and looking forward to meet with you and the others.
beautiful. Yeah, it'll be fun inviting you into
Yeah.
the group. All right, Ahmet.
All
Enjoy
right.
the rest of your day, please, and we'll be in touch really soon. Okay.
You too.
All right.
And yeah, see you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.